So today we're going to be moving what we call the little Harriet house. I made a video about this in the past when I built it, as far as it being a modular barn, and that was the whole point, was so if we decided we needed to move in the future, we could. So I've just started right now, took the roof back off, and I just want to show you guys how I'm going to kind of deconstruct and reconstruct the steps that I'm going through as far as how I built it. So the roof was just held on with these 6 toenails, or screws. They're screws toenailed in. There's 3 in the front here as well that you can't see, but like there's one here. And they go in every other joist in the roof section. So you just back those 6 screws out. That gets the roof off. Now this front header has to come off, which is just 2 screws in this corner, 2 screws in the other corner. And then the side walls and the back wall are only, they're screwed into the floor section, and they are screwed to each other to tie it all together. So I'm not going to probably show you piece by piece by piece how I break it all, or while I'm breaking it down, but I'll try to give you updates as I go. Here's the goats trying to figure out what's going on with their house. But we're only moving this barn from here right there. It's not far. It's just a little too heavy, especially with the floor frame. It's too heavy to drag it all in one piece. So I'm going to get all these, the side, the roof, the sides, the back off. I'm going to clean the floor off, get as much poo and everything off it as I can just to lighten it up. And then I'm just going to drag that floor frame over and we'll bolt her back together. So, like I said, let me get it tore apart here, and I'll give you little tips along the way if I can, as far as how it's going or things that I've learned. But like I said, I wanted to show you guys. So in total, the barn, this little shack, is technically 6 pieces. You have the floor, the 2 end walls, the back wall, this header 2x4, and the whole roof section. And I built, I try to build the pieces light enough, but strong enough that I can handle them by myself. I'd love if my wife would come help me, but she's just not feeling it today. So yeah, here I am, taking care of her goats once again. Better not go down that avenue. All right, let me grab my impact, keep zipping these screws out. Well, I've run into my first problem here. No sooner than I stopped that last video bit, went to take the header off, and the lower screw has gotten buried, which I didn't do on purpose when I put it together, but I sunk it enough, and then now I can't seem to find it. I can see the hole there, but I can't seem to get the bit driver to get a hold of it. So we're gonna break it off. And I can't wiggle the 2x4 like I wanted to just, use the board as leverage to pull it out or strip it off. I can't wiggle the 2x4 because that post is in my way. So it's a little crowbar on it here. Voila. Hey look, there it is. Found it. Okay, keep going. Another issue I did wrong. I nailed the metal ideally only to the end wall section, but then when I installed it, I put a nail in here and down at the bottom to hold this metal tight was the goal, but that's nailed into the back wall section. And now I can't pull that nail out down there. I can't find my little short flat bar. I've got some smaller nail pullers somewhere, but I can't get in there against the fence to swing on it. Maybe if I take off the other end wall with a roof, and maybe I can pry this corner of the barn and shift it out enough that I can get a little more swing in there with my hammer to drive my big crowbar. But just a thought, should design it better next time and just not put those nails there to tie it, because the siding doesn't really need to be tied like that anyway. It's the framing that need to be tied. So anyway, yep, another issue. Okay, so we just about got her all moved over. We left this last little end wall on just because we didn't need to take it off. We did have to take the back wall off just to take weight off of it. But actually I'm really happy. Mackenzie's out here helping me. And she actually did help as far as pushing while I was pulling to skid it over. The whole thing was buried up. You can see there's all this just stuff that's fell through the floor and fell in through the front. They had it packed in there pretty tight. Still saw it riding down there. Anyway, we got to skid it over here into the corner, but what I was trying to show you guys one little trick. Some of you may or may not know this about how you can use some leverage. Here, Kenzie, you want to hold that? And watch me work right here on this end. Back up a little bit so you can see. Can you see the shovel? Down here? Yeah. See the shovel? You see what I'm doing? So, if you guys are trying to wiggle something heavy like this into place, you can do yourself a lot of help by having a bar like this. Shovel or just a steel bar or whatever. Shovel works good because if it's soft ground, you get a little more surface area. But we've already got it pinned up against the fence on the far corner, so now we're just trying to scoot this back. Just trying to scoot this end in against the back fence. And so I'm prying on the front, and I'm lifting up and back. In doing this, it's going to tuck it in really nice and tight against that opposite corner as well, the far side. But we're just trying to scoot the whole structure back now. There it goes. You gotta get your shovel way under there sometimes.
Dad, I think we need to screw that in more.
Well, that's it. We're pinned against the back fence here. We need to go that direction with it. So, underneath. Come on. Can't get it. I don't know what it's hitting down there.
Post probably.
Oh, you know what? Let's see what we're hitting over here, Kenzie. I bet there's some chunks of wood and stuff. Yep. All this bark and debris blocked up against the fence. That's keeping us from scooting it in the rest of the way. We want to try to get it in here as tight as we can.
Dad, we're trying to get it in there as tight as we can so it doesn't hit that tree, because if it hits that tree, then that tree could fall down right on us, and the boy, and maybe the boys, and then we could die.
But what we really want, Kenzie, we want to make sure the little baby goat can't get back in here beside it, get stuck. Right? Mm-hmm. That's why we want it up in here tight. So we had a little issue, folks, with it bulldozing. Basically is what it did. It shoved up all these bits of bigger bark. So try to clean them out.
It's already been 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay. Let's see if we can move it now. Is that all out of there? Yeah. We only got to come in 2 more inches.
Ew, stop it, boy.
Okay, let's see if we can move it.
Daddy, my finger got in the camera a little bit.
That's okay, honey. Did it go? Are we against the post now?
Let's see. It looks like it. Well, not really all the way to the post, but big enough where the baby
We're big
can't
enough.
go.
The baby goats can't get in there. Yep. Okay, so like I said, just figured I'd show you guys that little trick to use the shovel for leverage, shovel or bar, whatever you can get a hold of. So now we've got it in the new location. We're gonna put it back together. I'll have a couple pieces, some nails I'll have to pull, and some screws that broke off I'll have to remove. But we'll go back together with it here real quick. All right, well, it used to be there, and now it's there. Got it all back together. You know, doing a little shift like this, it never really works out very well, to be honest with you, because the screws zip in and out of the same holes, which means they're wobbly and loose, and it's never as good as it once was. But it's good enough. There is one thing that's pretty different about it. When it was against this fence, see the panel is shorter. If you look over here in the corner, how much higher that back panel is versus the one that was over before. So the back of the roof actually used to stick over that panel, and we did that on purpose to help shed the water, you know, just a little further back from the barn. But now it butts up against that back panel that's taller, and so instead the roof sticks over the front of the headers a little bit more, which is totally fine. It still sticks over the back far enough that it'll shed water, no problem. But now it'll give them just that much more of a drip edge up front, I guess. So anyway, it is in position. I'm gonna go ahead and fork out this whole pile of manure and hay and get it loaded out of here on the tractor just to clean this pen out a little bit. And we really need to muck the rest of the stalls too. But that was my goal for today, was get that moved. Because now, yay, now we can talk more about the lean-to. Because now I can break that little part of this panel here, and I can go ahead and bridge this next gap and close in this next portion of this wall and build another stall inside. So little by little, we just keep on clicking. I'll have to figure out eventually somehow, I'll have to figure out how I'm going to have this pin still accessible
For Halo.
while we have goats in it. I'll have to build, I have to have another pin built for these goats to go into essentially before I can totally block this pin off. So that'll be a next task. I don't know. I'll figure it out.